What's up, everybody? You guys are good? Everybody give me a thumbs up. Thumbs up, good. All right, guys, thanks for signing in. I really appreciate your time. We're just gonna go over a few things before we even start drawing, before we even start sketching. We just wanna go over some information because it's very important that we talk about why we do what we do rather than just what we're doing, all right? Because if we just start scribbling and writing, it doesn't really have any meaning unless we understand the reasons why, especially from people that look like us, right? So just so you guys understand, what we're doing right now is just not necessarily a graffiti class. It's not just an art class. This is really more about social dynamics. And what is social dynamics? Social dynamics is really about how we get along with each other, what things happened that led to other events that led to where we are right now. So what we're gonna do is talk about a little bit about such thing. We don't have a lot of time to get into it, but we're gonna talk about a few things that led to what we now call hip hop and what we now call graffiti, right? It didn't just happen overnight. It's not just something that was intentionally created. It was something very organic. So what we're going to do is give you some pictures, some images, and then a few videos so you can get an understanding of what it is and why we got to the place that we got to right now. Cool? Everybody give me a thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Cool. All right. So the first thing we're going to talk about is show the first images of hip hop, of how we even started, right? Excuse me, even before that, right? So we're going to talk about like media, all right? So the things we're going to talk about regarding media, and if you guys could help me out real quick for the USB drive. Aquí donde está.
Oh, ¿es over there?
No, pero en the computer here. Sorry about that. All right. So for an example, this is like a modern version. All right, one second. Oh, it's not in the order. What about in the, there we go. All right, cool, that's good. All right. Okay, guys, so just double click them. All right, great. So what I'm gonna show you are just some images of what led to where we are right now. Damn, they're not in the order that I put them in. So, all right, so for example, we're New Yorkers, right? Whether you were born somewhere else or in the Bronx, maybe DR, Puerto Rico, whatever, right now we live here, we're New Yorkers. So what did New York look like before you guys were even born, right? What was it when you look out the window, when you walk down the street? What did it look like? It was very different than what you know now. So I'm gonna show you some pictures to give you an example of what was New York back in the day. So how many of you guys take the subway? I'm pretty sure everybody here takes the subway. So I'll give you an example of what the subways look like. All right? So, can you guys imagine taking the train and having the subways look like this? Pretty crazy, right? Like you see a lady with her kids, and look at all of this background right here. That is what today what we call graffiti, right? Now, it's not a pretty picture. It's not what you automatically think of. It's something that you wouldn't want to take the train like this, right? But, you know, we have to be honest with what the history is, right? So this is what graffiti looked like before. So let's go back to the other one here. That's one picture, for example. So let me show you another picture, right? Somebody taking the train. Now, this is a bit more in color, so give you more of an understanding of it being real to us. Because when you see something in black and white, you usually think of like, oh, back in the days or something. But this is real. So this is what every day, every single subway car was. And it was no escaping it. This was transportation every single day, right? So what happened? What were people reacting to? Nobody liked it. The only people that liked taking this on the subway were the people that were doing it. This was youth, roughly around your age, and they were riding on the subways like this, right? So now, talking about media, right? So in case if you guys don't know, I'm going to show you a picture right here. What is this, right? In case you guys don't know, are they able to answer? Are they able to raise their hand? Or can anybody give me a raise your hand or signal if you know what this is? Am I able to see it on my monitor, their screen? No?
Give me a second. The little screen.
John? All right, John. John, can you tell me what do you see or what do you think when you see this picture?
So what I think I see in this picture is someone in black and white,
Right,
I believe some white lipstick on.
right, right. You're right. You're right. That is what. Now, you said a very specific word that is how this is defined, this specifically. Do you know the word by any chance?
Lipstick,
Almost, almost. What this
black
is,
and white.
black and white, close. So I'm going to tell you what the name is. Does anybody else have a suggestion as to what this is? No one else? All right. So this is called blackface. All right. So what this was the white entertainment industry trying to portray what black people were, right? And this goes much, much farther than just, hey, I'm black, I'm going to put paint on my face. What they did at the time was act a certain way. They act very animalistic and they grunted, and it was very insulting. So it's as if they're trying to say, oh, this is what your mother looks like, and they put black, white lipstick, very exaggerated. You have the hair really all over the place. They acted very dumb. They acted very, for lack of better words, low class. And this is their way of representing what the black community looked like, what people like your mother, my mother, and a lot of people in the black community were. It was very exaggerated, extremely insulting, and it happened every single day. And even today, it still happens, right? So, this is called blackface. And the reason that I show you this is for you guys to understand how the media has shown people that look like us, right? So this is in the 1950s. Now, the 1950s isn't that long ago. I'm pretty sure your parents or maybe even grandparents were born around that time. That's not that long ago, okay? And not to say that this stopped at that time either. It's still happening, right? So if we want to talk about that is specifically blackface. And what was happening around that time? They were showing images of us in the light that we're not, okay? So I'm going to show you now, for example, what New York looked like also outside of the subway system. And I don't know if you guys can see this.
You can zoom.
I can zoom in or make it larger.
On the top it says zoom.
There we go.
You can zoom in.
All right.
Good.
All right, guys. So see this? This is right off of Fordham Road. How many of you guys been to Fordham Road? Right? I'm pretty sure a lot of people. You see hands? Cool. All right. So this is a block away from Fordham Road. And I can guarantee you that you have never seen something like this. This is a picture in 1981. 1981, I was 2 years old. Yes, I'm old. But I was 2 years old, and I walked by buildings like this all the time. All right? Mr. Jimenez walked by buildings like this all the time. Right? He's really old. So, why do I show you this, right? We fast forwarded from like the 1950 blackface to today and what we see in our everyday lives, or what I was seeing in our everyday lives. These neighborhoods like Fordham is very popular, right? You guys all know Fordham, but imagine living in these buildings. People actually lived in this building. This is not an abandoned building. So like this first floor might be abandoned, but on the second floor there's people, the third floor might be abandoned, the fourth floor there's people. So it was really crazy how it ended up, right? So the deal with this was that a lot of our government, a lot of our elected officials didn't want to, quote unquote, help our community or fix the issues that were happening. We had a lot of drug issues, right? For example, this is another version, right? I don't know exactly where this is, but this is right before a man named President Reagan. He was the president a few presidents ago, and he kept saying that he's gonna promise to fix these neighborhoods, promise to help our neighborhoods get better. And that's all we needed. We needed education, we needed clean water, we needed all these things. He kept saying that, but the people in the community, what did they do? They wrote falsas promesas here, false promises, meaning you're gonna promise something, but you never get it, right? It's kind of like if your teacher says, yeah, I'll give you guys free time later, and he doesn't give it to you. right? So that happened. And the background on the building is, again, some of the buildings where these people happen. So how do these buildings get like that? Does anybody have an example? Does anybody have an answer they might be able to give? John. John, what do you think happened to these buildings?
So I think what happened is when you mentioned white people used to hate the black people, they used to start destroying things. Like now in our time, they used to destroy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's pretty close. All right. Anybody else have an answer that might be able to give as far as why these buildings look like this? No one? Nobody raise a hand? Jaren? Jaren, is it? Jaren, what do you think, Jaren?
People tried.
Mm-hmm. Really close. Jaren, right?
Yes.
Thank you for your answer, Jared. So really close. So there's something called redlining, right? What redlining did was the banks and our government created on a map a red line saying these neighborhoods will get money, these neighborhoods will not, right? And these buildings ended up falling under neighborhoods that will not get the money. And what happened was, in the landlords of these buildings would burn the buildings down, their own buildings, to collect insurance money. And this happened all across the Bronx, Upper Manhattan, the Lower East Side. And these are neighborhoods that were predominantly people that looked like us. There were Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Dominicans, blacks. So these neighborhoods, all these buildings were being burned down, even if there were people living in there. Pretty crazy, right? So, Jocelyn, you have a question? No?
Yeah, I don't have a question.
All right, cool. All right, so now, I know this is a lot of information right now, but it's very important. So now moving forward, right around that time, we have this group, right? This group was a group called, anybody know? Let me see if anybody can guess. Do you guys recognize who any of these people are? Okay, well, these people were called the Young Lords. And they were one of a few groups, a lot of people even call them gang members. And what they did was they all got together and protested to get clean water, better schools, education, so on and so forth, right? And they held events out in the park, and they played music such as salsa, mambo, all kinds of music that was part of our own culture, right? And this was the beginning of what we now know as hip hop culture. Remember, hip hop is not just about rap music. Hip hop is a large umbrella that has so many different things in it, such as rap, breaking, which is the dancing element, DJing, MCing, so many different elements, and graffiti is one of them as well. Okay? So these guys here were protesting at the same time, and at the same moment, all of these things started bubbling. It's kind of like if you try to make, anybody know what a sopao is? Raise your hand if you know what a sopao is, or a sancocho. You guys know what a sancocho is. Who's heard of the word sancocho? Raise your hand. Let me know. Okay, come on. You see, I'm not crazy. All right, so this was basically a sancocho of culture, right? And it had all of these elements were coming in, and they were mixing, and they were boiling together to make what we now know as hip hop, right? Hip hop didn't just happen from one day to the next, right? So now I'm going to show you examples of what we moved forward to from there, right? Now, it wasn't an easy route. Nothing was linear, but it wasn't an easy route, but we moved forward, right? So we ended up going, like, for example, this is a place in the Bronx. Anybody know what this place is? Anybody seen it?
Yeah.
Let me see, who has? Let me see what you got. Tell me. Who is this? Jared. What place is this, Jared? Oh, not 42nd Street. Not 42nd Street. Let me give you a hint. It's in the Bronx. Let me see who has a hand up. Nobody has their hands up?
John.
John, let me see. John, what do you got?
What about Brooklyn?
Bronx.
Say that one more time.
This place here is in the Bronx.
Bronx.
In the Bronx. Anybody know where it is? All right, I'm gonna give you another hint. It's close to the Bronx Zoo. Actually, probably like 2 blocks away. So I'm gonna tell you where this place. This is a place called Tough City Tattoos. Anybody heard of that place called Tough City Tattoos? Well, Tough City Tattoos is a place where all of these guys, which are tattoo artists, before that were graffiti artists, right? They were, right? So these trains here, what you see all those trains there? All of those trains are their own tattoo booths, right? And that is when you go in there and they have their own booth. And they transported that, right? And what this man there is doing, he's giving a lecture or class as to what that is and the history behind it, right? Now, I know I skipped a lot of information, but that's because we don't have much time and I want to make sure that you guys get to your drawing. So this place is called Tough City Tattoos, all right? And that's very important to our culture because these guys, they're about my age, they ended up creating their own business off of a culture that we created ourselves, right? So that's called Tough City Tattoos. And when you get a chance, just check it out. So now, moving forward, what does places like the MTA, you guys know the MTA, that's the company that controls the subways, the buses, the tunnels. What do? They take that same model that what the kids were doing back in the 60s and 70s or 70s and 80s, riding all over the trains, and they do their own form of graffiti, right? Now, there's something crazy about this here, which is, does anybody know what these symbols are?
Oh, we have some hands up.
Let me see. What symbols are these?
We have Jaron and John.
Who did not go? Jaren, let's go with Jaren again. Jaren, what symbols are these? Let me know if you get a good guess.
That is the United States flag.
Almost, yep, that's good. That's a version of the United States flag, and they altered it. Do you see that little symbol inside the blue? Do you guys know what what that specifically is?
That is
It's fine, not a problem. Right? So you see, that's like an eagle with a cross under it. Now,
John has his
John, talk to me, John.
So I think that's the American eagle holding up the crucifixion sign of Jesus.
Close. Okay, I understand why you see that. All right. So I'm gonna tell you right now. That is from a show. That's a TV show called High Castle. All right. I don't know what channel it came on, but they advertise on the train. Now the problem with this is that symbol is what the Nazis used in Germany. Now I'm not gonna get into details regarding what the Nazis did. Feel free to ask Mr. Jimenez. He knows all about that. But the problem is that they're promoting this all over the train. Now, whether it's a show, whether it's not real right now, it's insensitive to a large community that experienced that. So there were a lot of people that were upset and they had to take it down real quick, all right? But it goes to show you that when you have the right amount of money, you can promote these things. And instead of helping promote art for kids to be able to do artwork inside the trains, they'd rather do things like this, right? And it's very important that we know that, okay? So give you another example, another company that you guys all know. You guys all know Target, right? Everybody here been to Target, right? So this is another full train of Target. Now, where do these guys get these ideas from? Doing advertisement all over the train. Anybody have an idea?
we have Jocelyn.
Jocelyn, talk to me. Where did they get that idea from?
Getting ideas from companies that have a lot of money that can support them.
Right, there's that money again, right? So there's more than enough history that this started, and I'm trying to find you the perfect picture. Well, I don't have it here, but of how this started. All right. Now there's, for example, this started in the Bronx, in areas where there wasn't a lot of money. So the culture had to start from basically nothing, right? And I'm gonna give you an example and show you. So when people were playing in the street and kids were playing in the street, this is how they were playing in the street, right? And I'm pretty sure you guys have never had to play on top of an abandoned car, right? And it goes to show you how things changed, right? So you see how these streets are really, really dirty, even though our streets sometimes get really dirty also, but you don't see abandoned cars like this anymore, right? So you see these kids playing and they're having the time of their life. You see, do these kids look like they're having fun? Thumbs up, right? They're having fun. But that's because that's what they know, right? This is their reality, okay? So let's move on, all right? And in that time, what was the community doing? What were we doing in the parks, for example? Well, I'm gonna show you. So in the parks, we were creating our own culture. Remember I talked about hip hop being one large culture? So here we have a picture of a guy named Dez, D-E-S, DJ Dez, right? And Dez now went on to be a big producer and being so on and so forth. But at that time, what were they doing? This is in a park. And they have his turntables, his mixer, the records in the back. You guys have never experienced records, but this is what communities were doing at the time, all right? So let's flash forward now to what we are doing now and moving on to different aspects, right? So let me show you, like, for example, what we do now. So for example, I painted this mural in a school in the Bronx, right? This is called the Boogie Down Bronx, right? And this school here, you see here on the lower right, you see DJ Dez, right? And this is my own way of giving a tribute or a thanks to his contribution to the culture. So we transformed this whole school and the walls into making it look like part of their own culture, right? I'll give you another example. This is painting a mural with some students at another place. This is at a place called Horizons, also in the Bronx, right? And we're helping with some of the students painting there, right? Now, I'm going to show you a sample of a video sample of these murals getting painted, okay? Let me know when you guys are ready. All right.
Hey yo, Wiz is crazy right here.
Hey yo, Ash, you crazy for this one?
Okay, guys. So, how many of you guys like that video? Everybody good? Cool? You guys are smiling? I can't see. Are you guys smiling? Okay, cool. So, these are the kind of projects that I like to work on because it shows a lot of the students that they can be part of creating something that's for them. So, if you see, for example, give me 1 second here. The images here are of people that look like us, right? These are kind of people that we see every day, right? And it's really important for me that students such as yourself see that, right? And we highlight ourselves. So these are actually students. This is a teacher in the middle and with 2 other students from the school, right? So another example, here, like I showed you before, this is the other side of the wall. DJ Dez. We also have a student here, that's a student in a wheelchair. We also have a teacher, And you see in the upper right, we see a person working on a construction site, right? Now, the reason why I like focusing on this is because it's important for us to see other things other than just the rapper, other than see then people saying, oh, the CEO, or even go to the army or something like that. There are so many different fields you can go to, and we show that through art, right? Again, to show you again, you guys want to see another video? Let me see, how many hands? I gotta get a bunch of, everybody has to show me hands or else I won't show the video.
I'm gonna put the kids on the monitor in a second.
Right.
So you can see them.
Yeah. So we got the hands, we're good? All right, so I'm gonna show you another video. And let's see, and let me know what you got. You guys gotta give me a rating, how good the mural came out from 1 to 10, okay? All right, 1 second. Are we good? No. No here. How many of you guys like that one? Yeah, we good? All right, cool. So these are the kind of things that we like to focus on. And again, show people that look like us. Do you guys know where that was? Anybody have a guess what school that was? I'm pretty sure you know somebody that goes to that school. Anybody? That school was, that's on the George Washington High School campus, which is now Media and Communications and like 3 other schools. I don't know which ones they are. But either way, anybody, how many of you guys know the George Washington High School campus? You guys, hands up?
One person.
One person? All right, cool. So you know. All right, so that's where we painted that one at. So now, we're going to get into showing you some artwork so you can see and do your own. And what we like to call this, I like to call this love letters, right? And it's not like the love letters that you know that you like to write to somebody, your little boyfriend or your little girlfriend, right? This is the love of letters. That's why I call it love letters, right? So I love how we can manipulate and change letters, right? I love the fact that we can do our own, right? This is an example of working with some of the students right there, right before we painted the mural on the playground of 173, right? So that's there, we were working on it. And you see this is us playing with the spray can and testing it out and practicing, right? So this is the beginning of working with letters, and eventually it turned into this, right? You guys know anybody there in the picture? No?
Yeah, John.
2 of them? John? Who do you know there, John?
And we have
Who do you know there? Let's zoom in. Who do you know there? Who's this funny looking guy? We all know her.
I actually go to that school, and that's Mr. Jimenez.
Yeah, that's Mr. Jimenez.
I go to that school.
That's nice, right? So you guys remember this before the construction, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So anybody?
And there was a big group, and there was this DJ doing hip hop parade.
Oh, cool. I wasn't there that day. That was the day, probably the carnival.
Cancer protest. The cancer protest.
Oh, that's cool. Really, really cool. Here, anybody know these? You think they know some of these kids here? Who are these cool guys?
Like 7 years ago already.
That was 7 years ago, right? All right, so Give you another example of them. This is us practicing. Now, here we used a water-based paint, so it wasn't dangerous, which is was he wasn't wearing his mask. So, right? So again, going back here, you see these letters? These are graffiti style letters, and this is what we're going to start doing, right? This is what we're going to start working on and practicing. So remember, I personally don't like the word talent. Why do I not like the word talent? Because we have to work hard to get to a certain place. How many of you guys like playing basketball? How many hands do you see? We see a few hands? Cool. So how do you get good at basketball? Hey, somebody give me a good answer. Someone who haven't gone before. Naja. Naja, tell me, how do you get good at... The perfect word, the magic word, practice, right? We have to practice, all right? So when we get started with our sketch pads, we're gonna have to remember that what we do, we have to keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, all right? So let's move forward, right? So now, everybody, you guys have your sketch pads? All right, so everybody here has their sketch pad, right? Everybody nod your head or give me a thumbs up. Cool. I still don't have their visual here. All right, cool. All right, sorry about that. All right. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to do something real simple, all right? If you have a nickname, if you have a name that you like to call yourself, if you want to shorten your name, or for example, Naja, how do you spell Naja's name? What's her spelling on her name? N-A-J? N-A-J? How do we spell Naja?
Where's that?
N-A-J.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so Naja, so that's your name, right? Beautiful name. Now, what you can do now, you have the ability to make your own, right? And you can create your own tag. It doesn't have to be Naja. It can be if you want to, but you can change it and make it into Naj, or make it into, or write it backwards, Hajan, or you can do so many different things that can make it your own, all right? So what I want everybody to do here is choose your own tag, all right? Right. Choose your own tag to make it your own. Everybody have a nickname they like? Raise your hand if you have a nickname. All right, so let's see, Tiffany. Tiffany, what nickname do you have? 1 second. Tiffany, tell me, what's your nickname? Tiff, perfect example. Now, do you use 2 Fs or 1 F?
I use 2 Fs.
2 Fs, cool. All right, so we have Tiff. Now, who else here is, let's see, what's your, I don't know her name, In Tune here. Who else has another nickname? That's not, okay. One more nickname, let's see. Jaron, what about you? Do you have a nickname or a tag that you'd like to use?
I like to call myself Chief Meteorologist Jaron Orson.
Chief Meteorologist, what?
Yeah.
Okay, Chief Meteorologist. And is that it, or is there more to that?
That's it.
That's it, Chief Meteorologist. I like that one. YouTheBomb.com. All right, cool. So for now, what I'm going to do is to shorten it, because I can't spell meteorologist, is write chief. And I can barely spell that either, right? C-H-I-E or E-A? How do you spell chief?
Wait, let me open it again.
Let's write E-I. Okay, let's X that one out. Let's write chief, C-H-I-E-F. Boom, chief. My man Chief. Are you okay with me calling you Chief?
Yes.
I like that one. Cool. All right, guys. So this is what we're going to do. Everybody pick your own tag. You know what it is already. And you're going to write it on the board. Pick one color. And you're going to write it on the paper, whichever way you want. Okay? So let's choose the upper left. You pick the upper left and you write your name. So my name is Dister, so I'm going to write Dis. I'm going to write D-I-S-T, Dist. I'm going to shorten it. All right? So you write your name. Now, write it again. Right under it. Okay, got it? Now, write it a third time. Now you change it up a little bit. You write it bigger. Right? Can we zoom in here a little more?
Yeah.
All right. Now, this is where it starts coming in tricky. So you're going to take all of this and you're going to repeat it over and over. What comes next? And over and over and over and over again. Okay? So we're going to keep going this, write it here, write it going down, write it with a big D going this way, write it with the T going slanted, write it with 2 lines in the bottom, put an arrow at the end. You see this arrow? Boom, right? So we got over and over, right? So this is what we're going to do. This page we have here is what we're going to do only for tags. So you can write, like let's say Chief, we can write Chief Oner. You guys know what Oner means? Oner means like you're that one, right? You're the only chief. So there's another guy that comes writing chief. That means that he needs to be number 2. So chief 2. It can't be 2 chiefs, right? So Naja, which one did you choose? You choose Naj or you want to write Naja? Naj. So if we're going to write Naj, we write Naj with the big A, or we can write Naj with the little a. See how I'm writing it here? Or we can write Naj with the little n. There's so many different ways we can do it. We can write a box and write Naj going across, right? You can do 3 little dots at the end. You can do like a big crown in the beginning, right? I'm going to change my page, but just so I can see you. So if I write Naj, I can put a box, and let me give myself a crown. Boom. And then I can do 3 dots here, 3 dots here, a wiggle, 3 more dots, and then watch this. I can write a boom, boom, boom. See that? And that changes everything with just a few lines, right? Jocelyn, which one did you choose? What tag did you choose?
I did my name small, S-M-O-O.
S-M-O-L. Ooh, I like that one. You know what's cool about that one? You can change the O in so many different ways. If you write S, M, you can write a little O at the top, a line at the bottom. See what I mean? Or you could do that same thing with another more dots. And then you can take that S, put an arrow on the S with the O, and then another arrow here, right? I'm just giving you examples for you to be able to create. John, let me see yours. Let me see what your page looks like. Let me see what your page looks like, John. Okay, nice. You see, you got your J all over the place. I like that. Keep going, I like that. Jaren, let me see yours. Let me see what your page looks like.
So far, it looks like
Boom. What? Okay, I like that. Good. That's what we're going to get into next. You're one step ahead of me. Good job. That's exactly what we're gonna get into next. How much time we have left? So let's go, for example, Wilson. That's Wilson. That's here. Let me see. So let's see. Let me go and choose. Let's choose small. It's gonna go back into small. So this is what you can do. You can write. You can take a different color. Let's pick a yellow. All right. Take your whatever color you have. Let's take a yellow. Right. And the reason we choose a yellow is because you can write over this and you can still see what you have. Okay. This is almost kind of like a sketch. So you write small, right, or whatever tag you're using. Okay. Now, write it again and you make the lines thicker, real thick, okay? Keep making it thick. Every line you have, make it thick. 2 to 3 times as thick, okay? Real thick, all right? Make sure that it looks like the letter ate a lot of food, had all that mango, and is real nice and plump, right? Keep it in yellow. Right? So I don't know how well you guys can see it here. Okay.
You can see it. They're good.
Okay, cool. So this is what we're going to do. Whatever one you wrote, let's take the purple. Take the purple color, right? And later on you can choose your own. And we're going to go outline all the letters, okay? So you see my S, watch me outline all my letters. Okay, so you gotta go right on the outside. That's why we decided to write it in yellow and keep the letters real thick. Okay, and it looks like this, right? You see that? Small, right? And that is my way of how to practice writing this is what we call straight letters. Okay, who can show me an example of theirs?
Okay, we have
Jana Lundi is okay. So let me see who can show me their stuff. Are on. All right, guys. So let me see who has theirs. Let me see yours. Let me see you guys' boom. I like that J. I like the dots from John. Let me see another one. Jana, where you at? Let me see yours. What did your cat do? Lundi. Let me see your Tiff. Oh, I like that Tiff. I like that. Boom. I like that a lot. Who else has some? Let me see. Aaron, let me see yours. Aaron, let me see yours. Epa, nice. I like that. He went off the road, off the grid. Boom. I like that. Yaseline was good. Talk to me. What do you got? Let me see Yaseline's small. Ooh, I like the swoop in the bottom. I like that. I like that a lot. Cool. Really nice. That's nice. So do you guys understand now how you can write your name and make it thicker and thicker and thicker, and then with another color, you come out and you start doing your outline, and you can see how you do your own straight letters, all right? Now remember, let's do another one. Let's go to a different view. Let's pick Chief. Let's go back to Chief. All right. So Chief, again, we're gonna start with this yellow. Okay. We're gonna start with the yellow, and we're gonna go Chief. Now, we're gonna do this time. We're gonna do one circle. All right. See how I just did one straight circle, and we're gonna color this in like this. It doesn't have to be exact. See that circle? See, one circle there, and then we just come inside and we color it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just think of doing a bunch of lines crisscrossing each other, okay? Or diagonal each other, okay? Now, we're gonna take now the blue color. This, and we're going to go, watch this, around. Don't finish it. It's kind of like you do your C. You see how the C goes around? Now watch this. We're going to take it around one of the corners here and go around towards the end. Boom. You see that C? You guys see that? Let me see who did that one. Let me see who did the C. Anybody show me? Let me see, Jaron. Let me see your C, the beginning of your Chief. Let's see. Almost. Let me see. Where's your C at? Where's your C? The one we just did with the yellow. All right, cool. So when you get to it, you can show it to us, okay? Let me see who else has their C. Anybody? Smo, where you at? Oh, Smo got it. Boom. There we go. So what did we use our yellow for? Our yellow was just a guide. It was just to push us in the right direction. All right? Because we really didn't need it right now. It was just a guide to push in the right direction to have us do the C. All right? And then later on, once you don't need to use the C, you can start doing your own. And from the C, for example, look, I'm doing my H. See, the same style. You see, rounded, no corners here. H. See that? Same style. And then we're going to do, what is it, E or I? E. Round the bottom. See that? The I in front? All right. Well, I'm spelling it wrong because Mr. Jimenez. No, it's fine. All right. This is just an example. Remember, this sketchbook, we're using it for practice. This is all we're going to do. Keep practicing and practicing. See that? Now, you see how the E, H, and the C all match styles? Right? Now, you can do that. I'm going to change the page now because I'm running out of space here. But you can do all kinds of different things, right? You can do a bubble style C. See that? And then you can do a really big, strong, sharp H. Then we're going to do the next letter, which is an I, which is the correct letter, right? And we're going to do an I. Watch this I. Now, instead of my dot, what am I going to do with my dot? What's a good thing I can use instead of a dot? Because a dot is kind of boring, right? What do you guys think? What should be instead of my dot? Anybody have an idea? Yaseline, talk to me. What should be instead of my dot?
Maybe a crown?
Oh, I like that. What? Let's do a crown there. Watch this crown. I'm going to do a different crown now. I'm going to do a little oval. See that oval? Now, on that oval, we're going to go not on the circle, but boom, 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 boom. Last one, and come down. Now, real tricky, you come at the end and you circle right at the end. Okay? Now we're going to do 3 little dots. Do a little dot inside, the middle, and on the side again. All right? And then we're going to do an E let's do a different kind of E. What E should we do? There's so many different styles. Let's do this sharp E. Check this out. Boom, 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 boom. See that? It's like a crown sideways. See that? And then we're going to come back to the F, and we're going to do real rounded F there. Come down again. And the reason why I don't go over this part here, right here, is because we have to make sure that it stays and it looks like it's behind the letter, right? So if I take this and I have this pencil, if I go behind it, you see how that pencil disappears, or the marker, right? So the same thing here. That F goes behind the E. So we can't draw over that. Go round it out again. Chief. Boom. You see that? Chief meteorologist. I like that. That's my favorite name from now on. It's crazy. All right. So, Tiff, let's try yours next. Okay. Now, let's go. Oh, one more thing regarding Chief. You can do whatever you want here with these colors, right? You can play with them. You can take orange and yellow, mix it up, do a design inside. So with my inside, I can draw all kinds of different things. Right? And then in the bottom, I can take the same yellow that we used before, right? Fill it in. And this is just us experimenting. Remember, you can do whatever you want. Try so many different things. All right? Now let's go back to Tiff. Now Tiff, what we're going to do is let's try with your yellow. Okay? And let's see. Let's try your Tiff, and we're going to make it real funky, right? So we're going to do a straight line here. Sharp down, sharp across. And then here you go down. Now, let's do something and let's push a little bit because you guys are getting pretty good. So check this out. Once we come down, let's do an arrow. Boom. On the bottom of that T. Okay. Can you guys see my page good? This yellow? Good. All right. So you see this arrow on the bottom of my T? That's my style. That's how I want to do it. You can do however you want. So now let's take another circle. Right above the right side of the T. Because under it, we're going to put our I. Okay? And then take your I, and in the bottom, look, in the middle, towards the bottom, watch this. I'm going to draw a heart. All the way in the bottom here. Right? See that? And then try it again with our F. 2 F's, right, Tiff? All right, we got 2 F's. Boom. All right. Now, I'm going to stick with my yellow because remember, this was the beginning stages of what I was writing. And I'm going to start shading it in. But I'm going to do half. Let's do half. One line across. And I'm going to start shading it in, shading it in, shading it in. Doesn't have to be perfect because this is practice. So we can get used to what we're doing. And then in the bottom one, let's take that orange again because it's a light color. And we're going to start filling in that orange, the bottom part. Right up to where the yellow was of the other one. Okay. Cool. All right. So once you fill that in, now we're going to take a dark one. We already did blue. Let's do brown. Tiffany, you like brown? You like brown? Let's do brown. And we're going to outline the whole thing again. Okay? And this is when it's going to start popping out. Watch. You see that? There we go. Now what we're going to do is make sure you stay behind your letters like I just showed you. You don't want to go over the lines. Okay. Keep going. Right. Now, we're going to take another color. I'm going to choose green. All right. And around this, we're going to do another outline. But what we're going to do is a little bit over the brown, and we're going to do a line, and we're going to go all the way and surround it. See that? So it's kind of like a border, but it's not touching the brown. See that, Tiff? Boom. All right. Now, this is just different elements that you can use. Ooh, I like that. John, that looks good, bro. That looks good. I like that. Meow. Chief, I like that crown. That looks good. Keep it going. Let me see. Who else do we have? Let me see. Who was it?
We have John, Tiffany.
Tiff, let me see yours. Let me see yours. Are you done with it, or you want a minute?
It needs a minute.
All right. Jaron, what's good? Chief, my man Chief, dime.
John, that's it. Okay.
Ooh, I like that.
There we go.
Mr. Weather in the house. Okay. I like that, bro. That looks good, man. That looks really good. Good job, man. All right, let me see who else we got here. Let me check it out. All right, kids. So look, this is what we're going to do. Remember, doesn't matter which way you do it, doesn't matter how many. The most important thing is that you got to keep doing it, because you have to what?
Yeah, unmute him.
Let me see. Practice. See, my man with the nice curtains knows.
Yeah.
Practice. You have to keep practicing, whether it's basketball, math, art, music, no matter what it is, you have to keep practicing, okay? Now, Tiff, we can't leave without seeing yours. Where you at, fam? I'm going to add a Tiff Boogie to yours. Let's see. I'm going to add a boogie at the end. Check it out. And then from here, I'm going to make it thicker, right? Just so it can be a bit more exaggerated. Boom. Tiff Boogie.
Tiff.
Let me see Tiff. Woo! I like that. I like that. Look how good that came out, you see? And it's all about following a formula that you can use to change it around and make it your own. See how good that was? That looks really good. That arrow looks good. The F's, all the letters are legible. I can see it. And then later on, we're going to get to a point where we can create our own crazy letters. All right, guys, so now it's time for all you guys to show me yours, okay? So you have to put up your drawings. I want to be able to see it, so everybody can show me what you guys have created.
One by one. Let's start with... Yeah, they're all on.
They're all on? Let me see. Boom. I'm going to take a picture of this because this is so cool. Boom, I like this. Everybody got their drawings. Let me see. Boom, that looks good. Tiff, where you at? Jaron, let me see yours. Oh, I like this. But keep it up, keep it up. Don't let it go.
Tiffany, she's finishing up.
You finish? You want to make it perfect. I see it. Look at that. That looks so good. Oh,
There
is
she
that small? I like that small. That looks fly, yo. Look at that. Good job. That's super nice. Jan. That looks fly, Jan. I like that. Yo, you guys did really good. You guys happy with what you did? Everybody give me a thumbs up. Are you guys happy with what you did? Yeah, nice. Cool. All right, so listen. Guys, thank you so much for signing on. I really appreciate it. Remember, this is a Hope Through Art class, and we want to make sure that you guys get to experience the coolest stuff. But you have to make sure that you keep practicing so we can give you more art classes. Would you guys come to another art class? Nice, I like that. All right, cool. So we're gonna finish out. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Don't let the dog chew your markers. Jana, don't let your cat chew yours, and we should be good. All right? All right, guys, thanks so much. I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys soon.